You built a business people love, but behind the scenes, it's all on you. Vision to Grow is your space to lead with clarity, hire with purpose, and finally breathe again. I'm Chrissy, your no-fluff leadership expert, here to help you hire better and lead teams with less mess. Well, hello and welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time here. I'm Chrissy. I am an integrator, a HR strategist, and your go-to for turning small business chaos into confident leadership. Let's just cut through the noise. If your business is growing, your clients are happy, and your ideas are solid, but you still feel like the entire business would crumble if you stepped away for 5 minutes, that's not a leadership issue. It's a structure issue. Today, we're talking about something I wish more business owners heard earlier. You're probably already a great leader. You just need a container for that brilliance. And no, you don't need some suit-wearing, jargon-using corporate cliche to do it. I'm going to explain. Let's dive in. So a lot of founders I work with never plan to be leaders. They never plan to be bosses. They never plan to have a team. In fact, it really bothers them and they didn't necessarily want to do it. So they didn't go into business thinking, oh, I can't wait to manage people. You started because you're incredible at what you do. And I want to give you some examples of clients I've been working with. And interestingly, I've been working with a surprising number of ex-teachers. So around 5 in the past few months. And teachers make incredible solopreneurs, incredible business owners. These are women who've managed classrooms of 30 students. They've built entire curriculums. I'm probably saying the wrong language. Sorry, teachers, if you're listening, but built like whole lesson plans, planned out whole terms, planned events, tracked outcomes, communicated with parents, and kept everything running all on their own while managing, like literally managing all of these little people. Like I take my hat off to teachers. Thank you to my teachers who support my son. It is such an incredible job, but there are so many transferable skills when it comes to leadership for business. It's peak leadership and it's operational excellence. The thing is with teachers, and I'm just using teachers as an example of people from that background, is when they enter small business, they kill it because they are so brilliant and they bring that brilliance into business until it becomes too much because everything runs through them and they're exhausted. They might want to get help, but letting go feels damn near impossible. Because doing it all yourself, it works until all of a sudden it just doesn't work anymore. So when I talk about leadership being a mindset shift, this is what I mean. You have to go from, I do everything. I'm the chick in the reels who's the marketing manager, the sales manager, operations, delivery. I send out contracts. You have to go from, I do everything to, I create the structures, I hold the vision, and I get support to deliver. And no one ever helps you do this in small business. You might be working with a business coach. Amazing. I always work with business coaches. But when do you actually sit down and talk about what leadership looks like for you? Because when you're working with a business coach, typically from my experience, you're working on how you're going to grow your legacy, how you're going to refine your services, your marketing, your sales. But the delivery, the operations, in early business anyway, if you're sort of the 4-5 year mark, you're scaling, that is different challenges. So having the space, having the time, and having someone to talk about what leadership actually looks like for you. What would the structure of your role be? I was in a really good position to succeed, right? So at the point I put my hand up to apply for a role to be a people leader, I'd been in corporate for years. And all of my experience was around people, right? So hiring people, planning teams. I did agency recruitment. I then went into internal recruitment. I worked on resource management. I was sat in projects, but all of the projects were to do with people. They were all to do with teams. They were about how to bring on teams better, how to manage teams better. Like I was given so many tools before I became a people leader. But at this stage, I'd never had a direct report. I'd never had a team reporting to me directly. I often sat across teams and I advised leaders on how to manage their teams. But I hadn't actually had a team myself at this stage. And then when I landed this leadership role, it was a massive step up. The role in itself was big. Being a people leader was one element of it. I also had 700 contractors that indirectly reported to me that I had to, performance manage, have difficult conversations with. My team was responsible for onboarding them. We did their payroll, like a lot of the elements that came to the job. And then I had a direct team of 4 reports. So 2 more senior people, 2 more junior people. And then I had to fill 2 open roles. And this sounds terrifying, right? But here's the difference. Like, number one, I had so many transferable skills to bring to the table. I'd literally been sat under HR departments in some of the biggest companies globally. So the recruitment company I worked for was global. I'd had interview training. I'd had difficult conversation training. I'd had how to mediate conversations. Like, so many skills. Like I'd let lots of people go. And then I'd gone into internal roles again under HR. I also had support. So when I went into this leadership role, I had the most incredible boss. His name's Darren. He is fantastic. I'm still in touch with him. He was such a great leader above me, and he had probably 20 years of leadership experience, and I could go to him with any questions. Now, I was also had a load of peers at the same level as me who were really experienced people managers. So I was the newbie, but I had all of these people to lean on, to ask questions for. And I had a whole HR team who would support me, and the systems and the processes and the tech already set up. Like, it wasn't me just winging it. I mean, I'd had so much experience. At this point, I'd probably interviewed 1,500 people and I'd let people go and built whole recruitment and hiring systems and team systems and appraisal systems. I mean, I'd had tough and don't get me wrong, like, this was still a huge level up. So becoming a people leader was a huge level up. I had tough conversations with my direct teams. I had one team member that I inherited who wasn't the right fit, that I had to work with her and move her on. I had another with serious performance support that I inherited. And then I had to hire new team members. And then once I got my team right, it was pretty good. Now I'll go on to share that. But the thing is, the difference between me becoming a people leader and a business owner who's on their own becoming a people leader, they don't have any of this infrastructure. They don't have a HR manager initially to go to or a leader above them. And sometimes things happen in your team and you can't wait to go onto your next group coaching call or wait for your business coach to come back to you. Like, you need infrastructure. And because I had the infrastructure and because I had the support, I absolutely thrived as a people leader. Look, it's hard to talk about what you're good at. Like, I don't find it easy to brag about myself, but factually, based on the evidence, I was a bloody fantastic people leader. And the reason I know that is because my team told me, and I've still got relationships with them. So shout out to Jess, shout out to Julia, who I'm still in touch with, who I was a leader in this role that I'm talking about. My team would score me super high as a people leader on the team, on the business engagement surveys, on the HR engagement surveys. They nominated me for awards. They stayed. And then because I was so passionate about leading them and making them happy, they grew. Like, I got all of them promotions. Some of them stepped away from my team. Both of them are doing amazing things in their career now. So Julia's in such a boss, incredible role. I'm so proud of her. But I just want to be really crystal clear. Like, if you don't feel like you're a great leader, it's not that you're a bad leader. It's just you not being given all of these things that I was given. So everything I'm saying, the infrastructure, the systems, the team, the boss, the tools. And this is exactly why I created the Grow Advantage model. So you can get those exact foundations inside of your own business. That is why I created this podcast, because leadership is really, really important as a part of your CEO role. And just remember, it's just one part. There's so many other things that you have to do too. So I want to talk a little bit about my imposter syndrome as a leader and where that's shown up. So it is a little bit embarrassing, but I'll share it. So, on my Instagram or anywhere you hear me talk about this, I'm a hiring, leadership and teams expert. That's what it says on my LinkedIn. It's what it says on my Instagram. That's what I talk about on my website. That's what I do. That's how I support clients. And that's how I've built the Grow Advantage model. But I had a moment of self-doubt where I was like, should I be doing more courses? Should I go back and get something from a uni to certify that I am a leadership expert. And I actually looked online at Harvard Business School. So they have online and you can go and do like a diploma with them and get a certificate. And I looked at their leadership courses. I actually looked at their syllabus. And honestly, what I found was I'd already built it. Like I'd already done it. Everything that was in that syllabus, and it was meaty, I had done many times over. And some of the high level pieces they talk about is emotional intelligence around your leadership mindset, what the difference is between leadership and management, how you manage your team through change, decision-making frameworks, delegation, engagement and performance tools. I have built these for so many businesses. I've built them for my own business, and I have 15 plus years of corporate experience doing this. And I've learned this from the biggest businesses out there. So this is everything I already teach, but I have tailored it for small business as a small business owner and as someone who has clients who are small business owners. And there's none of the nonsense and the technical jargon, and you know how in corporate they make everything so much more complicated than it is. So probably someone has a job. Like, it's with none of that. And trust me, as a business owner, I get this. Like, I'm so passionate about this, but I don't expect you to be. Being a leader to a team is one element of being a business owner, of being a CEO. But it is the part that I am incredibly passionate about it. So if we go back to this Harvard course, they talk about fostering transparency, and I make it more simple. It's just having a decent communication system. They talk about self-regulation, and I say, don't reply to your team in a panic spiral at 11 p.m. Like, let's make it real, because it is one part of your CEO role. Like, as I said, I've spent 15 plus years doing this across huge corporates and small businesses. And now I've built frameworks you actually need. So a CEO role that works for your brain, for your energy levels, a strategic cadence. So cadence, again, sorry if I go into the big words, but when I say cadence, it's like a rhythm. It's how often you meet with your team. It's how often you do certain activities to go with what's going on in your business, like launches. It's so important. Decision boundaries, so you're not being stuck as a human Google inside your business or the human ChatGPT. Leadership systems that your team can run without pinging you constantly. So you lead, you have the vision. What we need is to get full clarity so that your team can run with it. Still your vision, still your business. Yes, in some ways you're letting go of control, but essentially it's your business. You always get to make the decisions. And I am so excited to share with you that I've packaged all of this heavy leadership up exactly how I work with my clients. And if it's something that you feel like, oh, I feel like I need some base level leadership support, I need someone to learn it from, I've packaged all of this up into a full day workshop called Leadership Essentials. Because I'm done letting small business owners believe they're not boss enough, they're not a good leader. You totally are. You just don't have the container yet. You don't have the systems and you don't have the framework. So I want to talk to you about what structure actually looks like. So not a corporate handbook, but the real tools that support your leadership. And this is something I talk with all of my one-to-one clients about inside the Grow Advantage model. And I break it into 3 pillars. So as you know, I said hiring, teams, and leadership. And there is a reason I talk about all of those things when it comes to leadership, your team, your hiring. It all intersects. I'm moving my hands around as I'm speaking to you, but I have a triangle. So 1, when I work with clients, I always start with strategic leadership and strategy, right? But I look at it from the CEO lens, because you are the head of your business. You need to be happy in your role and you need to be clear, especially when you've got a team. So we talk about vision and clarity first of all. So vision is the mountain you're trying to climb, and clarity is the steps that you're going to get there, that you need to take to get there. Like what, you know, if you've got a monetary goal, what services do you need to sell? How do they need to be delivered? If your vision is to become a thought leader and you're going to do all these different types of talks, you're going to write a book, like how does the team support you to get there? And what are the goals? And then we break down the steps. The next thing we talk about is leadership architecture. This is the fundamentals of you as the CEO, your job description, your decision matrices, how you're going to lead the team The focus is with the rhythm that works for you. And then we talk about boundaries, focus. I'm a big believer in CEOs protecting their time for the stuff that really matters. But as I've talked about in previous episodes, there's no point in putting boundaries in place if you don't understand what the goals are and the framework is, and you don't have the systems to let the teams work independently. And that's why the next thing is, once we've got really clear on your vision, what your role looks like, where the business is going, and how you want to spend your time and protecting those boundaries, we then talk about optimizing your existing team or the team that you're going to have. So the clear roles and the responsibilities, the team structure that reflects the business needs, the business vision, not hiring arms and legs. Like, it needs to be strategic and it needs to work. The systems for feedback, the team communication, how we communicate performance. Like, have we got the right positions? And then have we got the right people in them? Then the next thing we talk about is maximizing leverage. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but how do we scale? Your hiring systems that work every time. Obviously, in the rest of this podcast, I talk about that a lot. Onboarding team members and having a repeatable system, and how we are going to constantly retain the talent in your business, where we go a little bit more into HR arm, and how we're going to protect you as well. So how we're going to make sure that you're really, really compliant with everything you're doing once your team gets bigger. So when we're talking more so leadership, it's those first bits I talked about. It's your CEO role, it's your vision, it's your clarity, it's your job description, how you make decisions. Because once you nail that and you're really happy, everything else comes. But when did you take the time to do that? Like, or did you just get really successful in business and then hire one person, then another person, then it feels a little bit hectic? It is essential. Like, foundations are essential for every small business owner. And you deserve it. You deserve to have these foundations to support you. And then this is what I want to build with you in Leadership Essentials. It's not just talk. It's not just notes. It's real decisions, real shifts. Like, you can listen to podcasts, but if you want to go faster, you need some support in that area, right? I mean, I will give as much as I can on a podcast, but sometimes I just want to get in there and work with you, right? So that's why I'm sharing that. So look, the real cost of winging it, like, I'm here to look out for you, business owner to business owner. So right now your team might be doing okay, but you're still the bottleneck. And if you're signing off on every decision, explaining onboarding, client onboarding, again, fixing delivery issues on the weekends, or feeling like you can never properly step away, like, if you can't take a holiday for more than a couple of days, I want you to ask yourself, what is this costing you? Not just your time, but it's also costing you creativity. It's costing you strategic thinking. It's costing you momentum. And let's be honest, yes, you're a business owner, but you're probably also a mom or a partner or a daughter. Like, you've got other stuff going on in your lives. Like, I went into business to make it fit with my life as a single mom. Like, working for someone else as a single mom is really, really hard, especially with little kids. And I need support to be able to do that. And I always wanted support. My team are amazing. I've always had team. I think I've maximum had like a month or two where I've ever been on my own. And I'm just, because I'm a good leader, it makes sense for me to have team, but it makes sense for you too. You can't scale a business on chaos. You can't grow if you're the glue. And if you're doing everything, you're going to get burnt out. But once you put structure into place, everything's going to change for you. I've seen it happen for my clients who rave about me. So for Karina, for MG, for Eva, who's recently been on the podcast, for all the beautiful teachers that I'm working with, that I'm going to share their stories once we are a little bit further along, the impact that it makes from the point when they come to me and go, I can't keep doing this. Like, I need support. I need someone to talk about why I'm hiring my team members, where I'm refining the roles, where I'm building my structure. They're no longer doing leadership on a winged solution, on hope and vibes. They're leading with structure, and they're finally getting their time and their joy back and doing something they really love in their business. They fall back in love with their business, and more importantly, they love their CEO role. I had a one-to-one client recently, and we sat down, we talked about the goals of the business, how many hours she wanted to work. I wrote her CEO job description, built her the team to support it, which she had the funds for. And she messaged me and was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to apply for my own role. Like, that's what I want for you. I want you to be really excited. I've talked a lot. I am chatty. My voice is a bit strained. I keep waiting to record this episode until my voice gets better, but it's winter here in Australia and it ain't getting better anytime soon, unfortunately. Let's wrap this up before it completely goes. Leadership. You're not doing it wrong. You're just doing it without the foundations, without the scaffolding. Leadership doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means building a version of leadership that works for you and then backing it with the structure. That's what I help my clients do. And that is exactly what we're going to dive into in the Leadership Essentials workshops. This is what's going to make the difference between you being the glue in the business and you being a visionary and getting to really affect change and make more impact on the world. The other slight shift I want to talk about is if we can shift our mindset to being like, oh, I've got to manage my team, to, oh my goodness, I get to manage a team. Like, my client MG, I talk about MG quite a lot. Like, she's incredible, and I've had a working relationship with her for a couple of years. But when we started working together, and she'd share this with you, there was her and one other person at business, and we grew her team. We added another 2 roles in it, but we really, really looked at how we were going to level up her team. And she doesn't need a big team, but how she was going to level up that team to scale. And when she started working with me, she was like, I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to have a team. I feel weird taking credit for other people's work. There was a lot of stuff that came up, delegating. We worked through all those things. She's killing it, and she's killing it as a leader. And I always knew she'd be a fantastic leader. She's also an ex-teacher. Hilarious. But I knew she would kill it. I knew she would succeed, but she needed to feel it. She needed to see the benefit of how much freedom she was going to get by hiring a team. And I think the thing that we underestimate is, like, if you're a good leader, if you're a good manager, your job gets to be really fun and really easy. Like, when I worked in that big job and I had a team of 4, when I drove energy into that team, I did so little work. I just looked after them. Like, they did everything for me, and I was a good boss. I looked after them and they looked after me, and it made my job so pleasant. Like, I hate it when people call having a team a family and your business your family. I don't see it that way, but I do see it as a beautiful collaborative relationship. You know, you can be an incredible leader and you get to give someone a job and income. Otherwise, what would they be doing? They're not working for an amazing independent business owner that's making real impact. They're working for some yucky big corporate that doesn't let them take time off to go to their kids' play, isn't flexible. You know, there's so many benefits to having a team for you, but also for them. Like, it's really, really special. I want to help you build that. I want you to fall in love with your CEO role. I want you to be supported by your team. And if this sounds like something you want to do with me in person, clearly I'm passionate about it, then please do look into Leadership Essentials. I've got 2 live all-day in-person workshops, one in Sydney, one in Perth, both in September. Link is in the show notes. Feel free to come over and chat to me on Instagram. I would absolutely love to have a chat to you about not only the Leadership Essentials workshop, but anything that you have deeply felt in this episode. And if you're wanting one-on-one support with leadership, with hiring with teams, there's always the Clarity call link. It's a free call in the show notes. If this episode hit home and you're ready to step into that role, then please join me there. But keep listening to this podcast. I have so much to share with you. I want you to fall in love with your role and fall in love with your business all over again. And I'm telling you, it's not just another course. It's space, it's strategy, and it's systems. And I have absolutely got you. Until next time.
Audience exclusive.